Hello everybody, today is Friday. I was able to work a little bit on a build. Unfortunately, I couldn't film it because I got some free time in the middle of the workday, and it was a lot of locomotion going around, so it's a little bit distracting for me, and also some additional sounds, deliveries in, deliveries out, you know, this kind of business. So, but I decided nevertheless to start going because it's already dragging for a while, and my client wants his gaming computer back, so decided to work a little bit. Basically, you remember the last time we get stuck on the way of how to route the tube. I wasn't happy with the ways how it's settled in my head, but after almost a week sitting on it, I figured out that unfortunately there are no perfect solutions, so I went for the graph that I draw first. I basically go through the classic way of connecting things. Reservoir to the pump, first rod, second rod, and the rest of the loop. And after that I decided to fill out, I still have I can't really show you, but I have pretty much pump sitting on a long tube outside of the case right now because I still need to take care about a bunch of fans, but I wanted to fill the system for the purpose of checking is there any leaks and things like this, so I can drain it, verify that my draining solution works, and also check if there are any issues. Basically, there are no issues except one spot right here. You see this leaking, but the reason why it is leaking, and I didn't really screw fittings on angle adapter to the end, so I don't know how it's happened, but you know, it's a little bit loose and it just not sealed the connection between compression fitting and with this look like 60-degree angle adapter. I'll film it closely so you can see. Another thing that I failed to mention, and every time I'm thinking, okay, I'll shoot it and I say it, but I never say it. So basically, one of the challenges with this build is the fact that I'm working under the budget. Customer recommended that he doesn't really want to spend much, and we kind of guessed that we'll try to run into $200 level. That's what my guess. And when I calculated all fittings, I use not expensive brands. I didn't use any. I reused everything I could. I didn't use bits power or anything like this. So I tried to be conservative, and I still hit $300 about that. So my customer said okay, but he's not happy. But I'm also not happy, and I tried to not to use anything else on top of I already used. So that's one of the reasons I'm trying to minimize, and I reuse all tubes. So we have all nice tubing here, but on the back I reuse the transparent tube that we already had in place, and it saves like $10 here, $10 there. You know, it adds up. So that's basically the situation. Because why I mention it, because in the last video comments, some couple guys said, hey, why you don't want to set up a double loop, and one for GPU and one CPU, and kind of spread them, and you can use all three pumps if you want, things like this. I might consider it, but because of the budgetary issues, I cannot, because I don't really think it's a good way to do things that you use the same one reservoir for two separate loops. I'm kind of not very happy with this kind of solution of sharing. I would rather prefer conservatively have two separate reservoirs, and one of the reasons is, you know, you have running any kind of problems and stuff like this, you don't need to bloody drain the entire system, you just drain one loop, right? So, and I have no money to put second reservoir, even if I want to. So that doesn't work. Okay, so I just want to show you what's behind before I will try to drain things out. So as I said, that I just have tubing a little bit longer than I should, because I still need to wire all these cables from the fans. But there's something I would like to show you, because it's interesting. You know, guys, when you have sometimes you get air stuck into the pump, and it starts making noises, and a lot of people use it as a false positive for pump failure. So right now I still have a bunch of things inside, but I don't want to deal with this because I'm going to drain it anyway. But It actually was very noisy at speed 3, but I already shake it a little bit, so it's improved. But now, still, if you go pump all the way to speed 5, the air inside of the pump or this top assembly makes impeller vibrate excessively, and because it's not there are no liquid equally around the things, and you can hear this noise. It's not a pump problem, it's your air inside of the thingy problem. So takes a while to get rid of it. It's not 5-minute job. I already was able to shake it, so from speed 3 I can go approximately 4.5, and it's absolutely silent. But if I just go this half speed out, that it keeps throwing it for vibration mode. Okay, it's something that you need to know, because a lot of people got a panic attack and they're thinking that ball bearing or whatever series they haven't had try to replace pump. It will not solve your problem. Your problem is air. Okay, so I have this draining point. Oh wow, I seems like I have another connection that I didn't screw that great. So this is my draining point here. And that's what I'm going to do. I will drain liquid down, fix position on by the CPU area, and we're golden. Okay, it's time to drain the system a little bit. And the quick disconnect I have here. Okay, I'll put thing in the bucket. This way, hopefully, I won't run into any trouble. Wow, that was fast. Let's help it out even more by opening. I don't know if you can see. Let me check what you can see. Oh, you can see the all action. Yeah, enjoy. I poured almost 2 liters into this thing, so here you go, even without opening reservoir. But if I open the reservoir, it will be much faster process. That's the difference. The pressurized system. Oh, pump is not off. Oh, that's why it was draining so well. I had pump on. That's interesting. I guess it helps. Never thought about it. Okie dokie. Now we're almost empty. Good that I have this bucket, right? Cool. Okay, that connection is empty. It's exactly what I need. Okay, that's my trouble area right here. Well, good I didn't get even more leak because it's barely screwed on. Okay, try to put. I don't know if you guys can see anything, but. Here you go. I barely have anything, just little. You see, it's holding liquid between layers. It's absolutely safe this way. I'll put new one anyways, because I don't want to smell all this crap. Well, another tip that those mats, they're actually reusable. I probably use it a couple builds, but I always test everything with distilled water. So with distilled water, you can easily just dry them up. But when you use chemicals, like glycol based or any other stuff thing, you don't want to dry it and sniff it unless you kind of an addict. Actually, all this stuff doesn't matter right now because I need to start work on other side of the build. Well, let's sort out cables first, connect them properly to fan controller, and after that I can finish up. Let me show you how I work out those cabling for the top radiator. I downgraded from push-pull to push only because basically no benefit in doing so except maybe looks, but it's cleared up a little bit the motherboard area, and I think it's a better balance overall design in this particular situation, because the distance between controller here and the cabling relatively short. I didn't want to use the long cables. What I did, I took dark side 3 splitters, those little ones, and basically created quad out of 3 pieces. So this part goes to controller, then we put 2 splitters in both arms, and we get a quad cable. This was exactly perfect distance to go other way from controller to my fans. And you can see, instead of this huge mess of wires, I have a very compact type of connection, and I tackle them under those cables that going from the front EO connectivity in front of the case, and it's pretty good so far. Now I need to move down, and I have 7 fans on the bottom, and I'll figure out which kind of cable would work the best in this particular situation. And the last part will be wire pumps with a Molex connector, and we can just finish it up. I just finished the wiring for the bottom radiator as well, so 7 fans, because one I had to remove which was interfering with power supply, and 7 header cable for push-pull quad is what I basically used in this situation. Bundle everything nicely, clip to the motherboard tray, and yeah, that's basically done. So the only thing left, a motherboard cable which doesn't really interfere, goes here. Same for GPUs, not big deal. And I can rewire my water cool setup and start filling second time. Hopefully this will be last time and there will be no leaks, anything like this. Okay, things going a little bit well so far, knocking on wood. Okay guys, let me show you what I did and why I did so, because you might look on this thing and say, hey, why it's so ugly and why is the entire assembly is crooked and things like this. Let me explain. Initially I wanted to put pump assembly straight on the reservoir and run straight tubing between them, then everything would be in balance and things like this. But then I remembered that when I tried to disassemble the system, how much difficult it was, how hard to work in that area. So I decided to give opportunity for the owner, if he need to change something or need to disassemble for any reason, he get a little bit of opportunity to move the assembly and take it out, even out a little bit out of the case in order to do whatever. I think it's make more sense. Doesn't really matter, you can't see this tube much, it will be always covered, but it's give a little bit flexibility of the entire situation. And here all I did is just inserted T-block, so we have a straight line going into the pump, and we have this quick disconnect that allow us to drain. So it's not really different from what we had before. I tried to save a little bit, and so I use one of my own fittings here. So it's not everything matchy, but I'm not going even to charge for that. So just leave things as this, and when it's will be covered, it doesn't really matter. You can't see anything. So, but at least it gives some flexibility. That's the reason why I did this way. So you wouldn't see it like that if I did straight tube. Obviously it looks maybe nicer for the looks, but it's not as nice when you need to deal with the system. I would sleeve this cable, but no, we're already out of effort on this one too much, and don't want to mess with cables a lot. Now I can fill it up and double check again if there are any leaks. And basically we're pretty much very close to completion of this thing. Okay, I filled up reservoir for first time, so I'll push a little bit air through, and have two pumps, but one pump is more than enough to do initial work, so you don't need to connect two pumps whatsoever. Okay. So now I need to fill up a little bit more, and I better switch this off. Don't need that. I need more liquid. Again, wouldn't take it. You see the fact that it's lowered, it means that we still have air pockets, so air get compressed and entire thing get lowered the level. But overall, it's pretty good. Usually you drop quite a bit, so we have very little air in the system. I usually plug second pump, might help it to get rid of those air pockets. Now the second pump. Yeah, you see how much air stopped going through? Also, it's extra pressure, so if with two pumps no issues, this means we're pretty good. Back is good. Here, radiator area, no issues. Alright, in terms of water cooling changes, I'm pretty much done. System is still not power up. I just showed you how things looks. I put power and control only, so fans is up and stuff. But I still need to bleed it properly to make sure that all air get out to power system and make sure it works. But in terms of what was done, first of all, again, I removed the stupid mesh so the system can breathe. We removed one layer of fans, so its radiator assembly went up, and we have a nicer view on motherboard area. We cascaded all tubing nicely, so it's now draining more or less easily. One slot is dead, one GPU was dead, so downgraded to single 780 Ti, but it's still plenty of power for gaming, so it's not a big deal, also disappointing. And bottom side of radiator, I removed one fan, which was heating power supply, so now it goes pretty good. All fans connected to one channel. Top radiator connect to single channel and bottom radiator connect to single channel, so you can see, you can basically deal with that. Everything wired up. If we look at the bottom of the side, I removed a bunch of cables. I'll show you. This is a pile of stuff that was like tangling in the back, so clean it a little bit. All these wires from fans take a little bit of space, but more or less manageable. The last thing left, just I will connect pumps to power supply, not to external power supply when I finish up. We discussed the bottom area, so I keep some tubing available so the assembly can be removed if necessary from the case. So although it looks a little bit crooked because of that. We have our draining point provisioning, and this long tube running from the bottom to the top rod. I have to put some protective coil here because I don't want to get bent. This is a little bit more than I feel comfortable with, so I put some coils for protection. When it will be closed up, well, doesn't really matter. So we can put cover if we want to, because it can be a solid cover can be put on this side, which I probably will put back later. And in terms of here, we need to give some breathing to the computer, and we have a massive, nice window here, and some lights would be nice, I think. Maybe we will. Some subtle color going on, but for me it's a little bit dim. I would put couple LEDs, but it's up to my client, whatever he likes to do. But overall, that's pretty much it. Just need to make sure that final leak test is completed, not just 15 minutes that I did so far, and it's ready to go. Great gaming system. A few things again, I'm a little bit disappointed about the case. Quality is not that great. I think fair price would be $250. $350 is absolutely rip-off for what they're giving you. The reservoir also not that impressive, but overall system is pretty cool, you would agree, right? So okay guys, that's it. I don't know if I show you more about this system or not, because I just need to finish up, probably nothing else to say. And I have a couple more builds on my own, so I'll come back pretty shortly with an intensive video. See you soon.